Good day and welcome back to another Dbz Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the performance of the physical LR Trunks in the Cell Max event. Now the Cell Max event's a pretty interesting one. As a lot of people realize, I'm sure by now, the Cell Max event is interesting in its design. It has quite a few things going on that make it difficult for a lot of units. Firstly, the Cell Max event has the ability to have two relatively difficult phases. So the first phase and the second phase are moderately difficult, I would say, without really testing top tier units. And then you get the final phase where everything goes out the window and he becomes a behemoth. And he can hit very hard in this phase. He can hit quite hard, quite strong super attacks. He does quite a fair chunk of damage. I still think he's the highest or hardest hitting enemy in the game, I think, in the tech phase. So it's still pretty rough. And so it makes it a great way to test just how good units will be, because obviously it gives you the ability to kind of run the unit, check how they're doing, see if they can tank a cell normal. They probably can tank a lot of the rest of the game. So it's a great way to test how good units are, and also put them in a bit of a different environment whereby they don't have as much time to build up. Obviously nowadays we have red zone where you buy the units start out ridiculously strong, but I think at the end of the day, like, some max events is still a pretty good measure of how good a unit is going to be. Now, of course, Trunks is great. I've used him in tons of content by now. You should have seen him in the Shenron event. You will have seen him in Red Zone. He's done great in both of them. But he's definitely a second slot unit. He's just one of those guys. You stick him in the first slot, even when fully built up. There's just no reason to. You lose damage from him. You don't gain anything. You lose an additional attack. He's just not meant to exist in that first slot. Like, he's just not meant to be there. Maybe that irks people. I know a lot of people don't like second slot units, but yeah, I think placing him first slot is just not isn't something really you should do. You're gonna see me do it with him to show you guys. Yes, of course he's gonna take a lot of damage. We're then also gonna test it with him in his standby mode where he'll take no damage, because that's kind of the whole point. Like, so if you don't know Trunks' kit, he's a 200% time traveler's lead. He raises attack and defense on his 12 key. He raises defense permanently on his 18 key while greatly raising attack for one turn. He has attack of 100% when performing a super attack on top of his 150% attack and defense. He has an additional key +1 defense of 10%, up to 50% in 5 key with each attack performed. Reduces damage received by 10% with each super attack performed in one turn. He has an additional attack of 100% as the second attacker, and launches an additional attack that has a high chance of becoming a super attack as a second or third attacker. And once he reaches the 5th turn, he also has the ability to fire off another super attack. So yeah, it's definitely, for me, I think it's definitely a sign when I look at him as a unit. Obviously he's a second slot unit, and then they give you the standby mode, whereby for the first turn of the standby mode, he will have 50% damage reduction and guard. And both of these things means that, he can tank pretty much anyone in the game. So the whole thing is why stick him in the first slot when you purposefully not supposed to put him there. He has a standby mode to be placed in the first slot, which is great. He tanks really well in that standby mode. And yeah, just honestly a very good unit. I like him a lot. Personally, I think he's great. Obviously I'm biased as well, because I am a huge Future Trunks fan. So yeah, do take what I say with a pinch of salt if you want to. But yeah, I do think he's good. I think he's great. I think he serves the exact purpose he needs to serve. Yes, at 55%, if he doesn't get all those super attacks off and he misses one of them, he takes a fair chunk of damage. I mean, as you just saw there, he can't survive huge 2 million attack stats. Not many units can. It is one of those things. However, when fully built up, he does a great job, and he tanks normals really well, and just in general he does a really solid job. And especially since his Cell Max event doesn't really give him the best time to build up, I think overall he does a really solid performance. I think he's great. The only complaint I have about him is that you can't include Strength Future Gohan under his leader skill, and it's it's understandable because they had to make one Future Saga and one Time Travelers, but obviously naturally it's a hindrance to Trunks as a unit. The fact that you can't run arguably one of his better linking partners / also one of the better units in the game as on his team is kind of a bit of a limitation, but it's not the end of the world. It doesn't cripple him as a unit. It's just a minor complaint. But then you can run 2 Strength Future Gohan, so I guess at the end of the day it's all okay. You're gonna see him here. He's gonna tank Cell Max for literally nothing. And yeah, that's just how he is. He's just really good like that in the standby mode. Obviously excels in that position. It's literally designed to tank for that one turn, so of course it makes sense that it's going to do well. And that's the thing, I just find that he's got such a good meleeable kit that he just does a really solid job. Is he restricted to the second slot? Yes, it is of course something that exists, but I think overall he's not limited enough. I really enjoy using him, and yeah, I just find that everything he does is really solid. So yeah, from my side, I think he's great. I think he brings everything together really nicely, and honestly I just have a great time using him as a unit. But of course, I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you think about Trunks? Do you think he's good? Do you think he's bad? All that sort of stuff. And yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions, because they do matter and I like to hear them. But that's gonna be it from me, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next video. But until then, as always, you can take care, stay safe, see you guys next time. Bye.